just there to get the video camera. Shark's got it. Shark's got it. Whoa! Whoa, it's a bloodbath. Look at the shark right there. There's multiple sharks.
Oh, hey, it's me, Ben. This is actually my favorite spot in the house. We're on top of the boat, on top of the hardtop. I got 2 lures out right back there, and both are running teasers. And that's exactly what I want to go over today. How do you catch more fish by simply doing this one thing? Oh, before I get started though, let's start that intro.
So it's a fair amount windier than it was forecast to be. We're freaking moving.
Spent a lot of time studying, testing, and watching my lures. I've learned a lot of things, especially fishing while cruising.
It's a shark or something. We think this might be the biggest fish we've ever caught. Holy attitude! Oh my god! The tuna! Big tuna!
You want to talk adventure? That's adventure. Oh yeah! Been hauling in the mahi, the tuna, the yellowfin, 200 pounds on a halyard. Double headers, triple strikes. It's just perfect for eating.
The shark got half. I wonder how big he would have been without the shark bite. I think I need to go to bed now.
Don't worry about writing anything down. I'll have all the links down below. Don't worry about it. Just watch this video. You know, I think every fishing episode should start with a beer. You know, and here in Vanuatu, they have this beer called Tusker Bitter. It's actually pretty good, and it's really good because it's got this pull tab, which makes it, oh yeah, makes it really easy to, oh that's good. They're pretty good, man. So I wanted to go over teasers and explain to you why you should be using them. See, the thing is, you're probably running a couple lines out back all the time when you're sailing. The lures are probably running perfectly smooth, perfect distance from the boat, popping out of the water exactly when they should, and maybe you're not ever getting a nibble. On the other hand, your buddy over there is running lures that are flopping all over the place. It's a freaking disaster, man. Maybe he's running teasers. The thing is, that is more attractive than what you're doing because that's what fish are attracted to. So let's start at the very basics. The theory is that a boat moving through water creates bubbles. And those bubbles mimic a bait ball, which then brings fish up to the surface and gets them closer to your lures and within striking distance. You have to create your own turbulence. You have to create your own chaos. Now you may be wondering, you're not a bait ball. You don't look like a bait ball. How can you mimic that? Especially when it's calm out, it's really important to mimic chaos, mimic a bait ball, mimic a feeding frenzy. Fish are always looking for an easy meal. Those fish are going to come closer to that guy's boat because that triggers their instinct and that triggers them to bite. The answer lies in teasers and lure action. You need to use something like this, which are teaser birds. These are called tormentors. I run 2 in a line and they go back and forth like this really quickly. They don't actually make that noise, but they go back and forth like this and they make huge splashes. That triggers fish to come up to the surface. Or you can use something like this. This is a big popper. It goes and makes a huge splash every time it comes out of the surface. Or you can use something like a daisy chain. A daisy chain is just like the birds, will go back and forth, back and forth. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here I would attach my lure. You want to bring the fish up to your teasers, and then from there they will drop back towards your lures. I run these on a hand line, so it makes it very easy to pull in. Popper you could run on a line. Now, my wife over here, the admiral, the skipper, the captain of this boat, has some questions. She's been standing in the background over there.
I have not. I'm doing laundry.
Can I have a beer?
How many is this today?
Oh, she's asking me how many beer I've had. You never ask the captain how many beer he's had. It's just rude. It's rude, Ashley.
Lucky for Ben, I don't really like beer.
It's quite the fishy outfit there, Ash.
It's my jungle outfit. So, here's the thing. There's usually a lot of questions people have. I'm gonna pretend I'm you because I'm like fishing for dummies here. I like to fish. I often put the rods out. I often pick out the lures. I pick out pretty lures. So this is a very pretty lure. It's pink. Pink lures are awesome, by the way, but that's a different video. Which is your favorite out of these?
My favorite.
Yeah.
So my favorite setup, hands down, are the cedar plugs and the red plugs. If you look at this actually closely, this lure actually has bite marks on it because it's actually
It's brand new.
it's brand new, but it's got some pretty good bite marks on it. These work awesome on a sailboat. And then my other favorite setup is the Tormentor birds. These are fantastic. Set them up 2 in a line.
Next question. When should you pull in these things? Sometimes we get them out in the rods and we can't get them in.
Yeah, so in 12 to 15 knots of wind, we start to go too fast because our boat speed gets up over 5-6 knots. And at that point, teasers become unattainable. Unattainable? Unattainable.
Untenable.
Unattainable.
So you drop the A.
They will catapult over each other. Poppers will just be like flying out of the water like crazy. The daisy chain is a bit better because it's harder to pull out of the water. But in general, I stopped to use teasers at about 6 knots of boat speed.
You keep mentioning hand lines. Would you ever run the birds on a rod?
They're quite heavy and they do create quite a bit of drag. So when you do have a fish on, that can cause a pretty big issue. Either run these by themselves, put a second rod with a lure behind them, or I would put the birds out on a hand line with the lure in line about 6 to 10 feet behind them.
My next question.
You're running out of questions. I guess I covered the topic pretty well.
It's teasers. Oh, how far behind the boat do you run the teasers?
So the teasers you want to run pretty close to the boat, closer than all your lures, because what will happen is the fish will come up, they'll look at the teasers first, they think that's the bait ball. When they realize it's not, or they get disinterested, they will move back to your lures, and at that point they'll strike. Teasers go closer to the boat, lures go further aft. Now, how far? Completely depends on your boat type. If you're on a monohull or if you're on a catamaran, that changes. If you're going in big waves or small waves, depending on speed, it all changes. So you want to have your lures just outside the bubble zone that your boat creates because you want the fish to see your lure. Your birds should be maybe just inside of that zone or just past it as well. And again, this all totally depends on conditions. You're just going to have to play with this. In general, the rule of thumb is put your lures between 1 to 5 boat lengths out behind your boat. That's a pretty big ratio, but you gotta play with it.
Look at those fish. Holy, it's in our dinghy! Oh no, it didn't go in the dinghy. It hit the dinghy.
You missed it, but the fish almost hit our dinghy.
No.
Teasers in general are awesome. Go get yourself some birds. Get yourself a popper. Get yourself a daisy chain or make your own. Just run anything behind your boat in front of your lures. People have run bowling pins, they've strung beer cans together, people have run hubcaps, anything. Like, seriously, just make a bubble trail, make a bunch of splashes, then put your lures behind that and see what happens. I promise you, you will catch way more fish. Guaranteed. Money, there is no money. I can't guarantee you any money. I'm sorry. Just go try it. Go fishing and check this footage out. We just pulled into port and we caught 2 huge mahis. Well, it's more like 1.5, but you'll have to see. Go check it out.
We got a fish on again! And this time it's on the hand line.
Hand line! Yeah, man!
beautiful blue, and I think it's a mahi, and I love mahi. Shit, we're gonna need the gaff. I gotta put this down.
Yeah, you might want to get the
I gotta put you down. Sorry, dude.
Wow, it's a big one. Yeah.
You can tell if it's a male or female based on the head. If it's like round like this, it's a female. If it's like straight and then down, it's a male. Big though, hey?
Yeah, it's a nice, beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Okay, do we do the obligatory photo? I turned the video off for a sec.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We got a big fish on just after we pulled in that mahi. Monster fish. So Ashley's pulling them in right now. I've pulled in all the hand lines. I just dropped the mainsail, and my only job now is to control the boat and keep the lines out of the rudder. We've got a massive shark at the back of the boat. I don't know if we'll be able to land this fish. It's a big shark.
That's right there, Ben, right there. Go pull in. Reverse on this side. Starboard. Oh. Hey, watch out, I'm turning too much. The four tile's gonna be in the way. Oh, might have come off. Huge money, the shark just ate it. Get the video camera. Shark's got it. Shark's got it. Whoa! Whoa, it's a bloodbath. Look at the shark right there. There's multiple sharks. Whoa! Holy shit! You want to bring it aboard? Half a fish. That's a good picture. I could do that picture. Go pull overboard. He's gonna need your GoPro. Where's the shark?
The shark's down there.
Okay, don't. There's a shark. There's a shark. Ben, don't tease him. You're so mean. Look at that thing. Huge. It's like 2 meter long shark.
Yeah, it's huge, eh?
Yeah. This is the bull, right?
Yeah, that's so. Continuing the lesson,
This is a monster bull mahi. You can tell because of the head. You see the head? See how it goes down?
Yeah.
That's a male. That's a bull.
I got a massive bull mahi. It was my turn. But the shark got half. See? You can hardly lift him still. I wonder how big he would have been without the shark bite.
We slayed the husband and the wife.
Well,
Sorry.
they're together.
Your discretion advised. Maybe look away for this one, but husband and wife side by side. At least they're both in heaven. And but look at their heads. You can see the difference between a bull mahi, a male, and a female. See, so that's the male, and that's the female. That's the shark.
That's the first time that's happened to us. That's the very first time that's happened to us. It's kind of crazy.